Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cities of Mist, Case 2 of Golden Ticket Canaries in the Coal Mine. We have with us Thrith and Anne.
Yeah. Hello.
So, last we left off, June was getting Laurie into a whole bunch of trouble.
Only a little, mostly tiny bit of getting fired.
Well, he's not fired yet.
I can fix that. I mean,
You can indeed fix that. You have proven very able. Muggles. So, Elaine,
hello.
you're waiting outside for your, what are we calling, sister, child,
My little.
your little, okay. You're waiting outside for your little and her and your guardian. Oh, not guardian, your charge. Ward, thank you.
The opposite.
Yes. And you see them exiting the building and coming towards the car. The thing is, you also see somebody watching from across the road.
Huh.
He's in his car, and he's been sitting there. He was there when you arrived, and he is watching the kids leaving the school quite intent, and seems a bit more interested when he sees Riley and June, which is what brings him to your attention. He is wearing a leather jacket. He's driving an old beat up car that seems to be, you seem to recall from your time spent as an investigator that it's a car that's commonly used for stakeouts because it is that common that it just blends into the scenery. Heck, there's 3 or 4 others like it on this street alone.
I'm going to see if I can, get an email off to someone and ask about its plates. Because if it belongs to the police department, then it's a stakeout car. If it doesn't belong to the police department, it's a stakeout car that belongs to someone else.
Indeed.
That seems like a good place to start.
Mm-hmm. This is an
And-
investigate.
Okay. There was another thing I was going to do, but that's probably sneaking around now that I think about it. I don't actually have much. I've got physical evidence investigations, but I don't really have much about her other contacts.
Lady detective, perhaps?
Oh, you're right. I can't read anything that doesn't have a letter in front of it because I'm a bit special where my brain's meant to go.
Hugs.
Hi, girls. Can you see anything else?
Reading body language, possibly, because you are seeing him, and his body language might give something away.
His degree of professionalism might be able to tell me if he's a cop or not.
Indeed.
Okay. Anything weakness-wise?
You know what? Not that I can see.
I investigate. I have 3 clues.
Indeed.
Oh, good. I'm glad I decided not to help there.
How would you like to spend them?
Well, well, I would like one on just confirming that this is not any duly authorized authorities car.
This is not a police officer or a law enforcement official.
Who is it registered to?
It is registered to the Daily Graph.
Um,
The Daily Graph is, of course, a
Yeah.
extremely popular newspaper in the city.
Wait, this isn't a question, this is just setting stuff.
Yeah.
But how highly would you say the Daily Graph rates journalistic integrity?
Every newspaper has muckrakers, but it's very well respected.
Alright, in that case, I will waste my last clue asking if I can match this guy's face to any of the contributor credits.
You can. This is Dale Watcher. He is a reporter. He's known for some of the more crackpot conspiracy theory type content that the newspaper run, but also has broken a few genuine cases of corruption in the city.
The last thing I want to do is a bit of a delay action spending my mythos clue. Since it comes from the whole puppet body thing, I would like to open a finger or something and have a couple of insect-sized puppets come out and, get into his clothes. Just so that I can learn where he's going after this stakeout. Or better yet, keep them on him so I know that he's where he is when he's outside watching my house. I mean, I'm already suspecting that he's going to be watching me at basically any time. I'd just like to be aware of from which angle.
Okay, so Riley and June arrive at the car. They say their goodbyes to Lucy and me. Lucy waves to June, blushing a little, and says, "I'll call you later, June."
June looks like she's attempting to laugh.
Oh no. Will that break her heart?
June's just going to, write down an email address or something because we don't want Lucy to go home crying.
Indeed.
But,
Okay.
Phones don't super work.
This is true. So
Yeah.
yes, email addresses are traded. As Elaine pulls away from the curb, this Dale Watcher guy also pulls out and is going to attempt to follow you. Are you going to let him?
I think I will. And I think we're going to stop at a diner or something on the way home and get a little bit of a treat. Because you've all been good at school and traumatized other students and upset tea. So I think we're going to stop at a diner and everyone gets a sundae. And a coincidentally open chair if the paparazzo is brave enough to sit opposite Elaine and next to Elaine.
And funnily enough, he is. So as you're all eating a sundae, Dale goes over, gets a sundae of his own, and sidles up to the table.
Random's going to be kind of poking at the glass of the glass for a little bit at first before tasting it experimentally.
He stares at Random for a moment before shaking his head and says, "Hello, ladies. I'm Dale Watcher. I'm a reporter for the Daily Graph. Do you have a few moments for me to speak?"
Elaine smiles patronizingly and signs hello, Elaine Griffin. possibly, if he looks puzzled enough, she will continue with pleased to meet you.
He signs back thank you before sitting down. He looks at Riley again. So this may be a bit awkward, but I wanted to ask you if you've noticed anything strange going on at Clock Tower High recently.
Elaine is going to look at her identical, though slightly de-aged, identical including all the way down to Scar daughter, and sign, well, have you? June is going to look thoughtful and then sign back, some boys were picking on Lucy.
Right.
I may be a slightly obstructionist troll, but that's okay.
So he coughs and says, well, it's not exactly what I was thinking of. Have you noticed any disappearances lately?
Brandon will start to perk up a little bit. Start to open her mouth. Because she would. Anybody want to take a risk to stop her? Or do something to stop her?
Alright, let's multitask. I think June is going to June is well sick and tired of Random poking at the sundae and is going to grab Random's spoon and spoon some into Random.
Take a risk?
Alright, what would we say applies? Reckless abandon?
Yeah, reckless abandon. Reading body language.
Because you have to know the right point to put it in, yeah.
Yes, no, I'm going to shovel a spoonful of ice cream into Random's ear. That's what's going to happen.
Well, as in, the right point for her to open her mouth. Oh, it just keeps getting worse. Never mind, I'm going to shut up now. Put this all in blooper.
It's fine, it's fine. That would be great on the actual reel.
Undetectable?
Actually, that's a good point, because undetectable, she is hit there in both puppets, and we are making people not know that she is one of them, either of them.
Indeed. I think that's. I don't see any weaknesses.
And I don't have any. I don't have any hurt to apply, so.
Yeah, all mine's against Laurie, so let's take a risk. Oh, holy crap!
2 juice.
Is that what dynamite does with juice, or is that not listed on the
I
card?
think that's what dynamite does with juice. You can spend it as if you're spending it on change the game.
Well, that was a timely upgrade.
Well, to be fair, it was always going to be a timely upgrade because everything I roll is either a 1 or a 6. I don't actually know what to do with 2 juice.
You could create some story tags. You could give somebody a status. You could distract Dale. You could.
I'm going to spend both of them placing a 2 status on Dale that June and Elaine are definitely not the same person.
Okay.
Their mannerisms are too different, even if they look similar.
Alrighty.
Because this doesn't strike me as the type of juice that's going to stick around for long. Or that I could justify sticking around for long.
Yes. So, Random is about to say something possibly problematic when she suddenly gets a spoonful of ice cream. and is immediately distracted by how yummy it is.
Okay. This is not warm and bloody. This is new taste.
Cold and creamy. Dale's looking a bit weirded out at this point. So, you're trying to tell me that none of you have noticed any? I mean,
Of course we're not. There's ridiculous levels of bullying at that school. And the teachers, they don't do anything. And, the signing gets more and more agitated, the gestures get a little wild. Because, damn it, I'm an indignant parent, and my adorable children, who are not at all having an ice cream, are exposed to this kind of terrible social ostracism and bullying at this school. It's just not acceptable.
Flashback to the first time somebody at the school tried to bully Random and just got a confused stare and cocked head.
Yeah, posturing aside and red herringing aside, I don't really think the bullying much affects any of the core members of the group. Maybe Lucy when she's not immediately nearby.
Yeah. Lucy, Misha, and Peter might be affected. Maybe Lori is getting some now. Random won't understand the verbal stuff, and the physical stuff would not go well for the other person.
So Dale looks a little exasperated and asks a little more forcefully. So the name Chad wouldn't mean anything to any of
Random's going to, while she's trying to work the spoon to get more ice cream, or maybe the straw, she's seen that in movies, cock her head to the side and try to get a smell of this guy. Just try to learn something about him.
Try and investigate.
Let's see. I don't actually have any sensory things. Oh, heightened situational awareness. I have not yet actually characterized my supernatural senses in a tag yet, so I don't get bonuses to using them yet. Oh well.
Indeed.
Okay.
But that's the wonderful, wonderful thing about City of Mists. That just means you don't have any bonus.
Yep.
It does not mean you can't use them.
Okay. So heightened situational awareness. He's not watching her right now, so pretend to be human.
Yep. I'll give you that.
Anything else?
I am not going to tag any weakness. Oh, no. Fear of exposure.
Right, he's a reporter. That's a bad thing in the movies.
Particularly for the monster.
Yep.
Good or bad.
Okay. Investigate, here we come. Attention marked. Well, that's not nice.
That is not nice. Memory of the last time Riley saw Chad suddenly and causes her to cough a bit on the ice cream that she was eating. I want you to take a status 1 of guilt, please.
Okay. Got it. Give me a moment.
Dale picks up on that immediately and then points to Riley, gives her a penetrating look. And says, you do remember Chad.
She's going to try very hard to just stare and, respond, just look at him with no expression. Well, she gives no expression, but give something that he won't be able to read. Because as a reporter, he might be able to read her lack of expression better than other people can.
Indeed. Ooh, that sounds like a sneak around.
It does indeed. I cannot use heightened situational awareness or pretend to be human, because I just used those. I will use heavy filter between thought and expression.
That is very apt.
Inured to the horrible?
Yes, because he would be reading these. He would be reading the sight of Chad getting torn to pieces by a.
Right. Fear of exposure is part of the last one, so that weakness can't come in. Do you have any other weaknesses? Because I don't see anything else that could go to my favor. I think the guilt.
Disjointed responses as a weakness.
And is the guilt going to act against me?
Monsters can hide.
Oh, good point. Yes, that's a good one. Okay. Is the guilt going to act against me?
The guilt is going to act against you, yes.
Okay. So all told, I have a power of 1 for sneak
Mhm.
around.
Indeed.
And because I'm using Nameless and Forgotten, this is a dynamite move.
Yay.
I just barely didn't get dynamite.
Yep. However, that's still an epic acting performance. Even Elaine is impressed. He stops and seems to doubt.
Can I give the internal monologue for a moment?
Sure.
It's like, why guilty? The monster does not have guilt. The monster has guilt in Frankenstein. The monster has guilt in this movie. You know, it's not quite the Golem two personalities thing. It's more going back and forth with herself. Though it might be two personalities, I've never really decided how her mythos interacts with her. Yeah. She doesn't know whether it's a separate she thinks it's herself. I don't know what it is. Anyway, that's what's going on in her head, is arguing with herself so she can't really give a good expression. So it's just, she's basically covered by the fact that her reactions are just so alien. Sorry, go on.
So he looks as if he has some doubt now. Riley's response has thrown him off the scent that he thought he just caught.
Okay.
Would Elaine or June like to add anything at this?
I think we're going to have a fairly disdainful expression and ask if Chad has a surname, or are we just going to throw out generic kids' names?
And now I have to remember Chad's surname.
It's okay, you can just say yes and he gets it right, or no and he doesn't know it.
Oh, he gets it right.
Let's say actually that I know that you've described him as a white boy and Misha as a black girl, but let's say they're both siblings. So it's Chad Dawson.
That could be interesting. We can go with that.
Which I've just done something horrible to Misha now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, Misha can remember. She doesn't even get to be one of the characters who's allowed to forget.
Mm-hmm. Although she didn't actually see Chad die.
She just heard he got torn apart by wolves.
Yeah. But obviously she's not holding that against any of you.
Yep.
Because she doesn't know that you told her the jerk always died.
Oh, that explains the guilt too. Oh wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he looks a little more unsure of himself. He answers that when he answers that he knows Chad's full name, he looks around at all of you. He looks to Elaine and says, "Look, one professional to another. I mean, you'll pardon me, but I've seen some of your work, and it's some of the more professional for people of profession."
When he says, I have seen some of your work, she will smile slightly mockingly and say, reported on it too. Or sign reported on it too.
Hmm. Well, yes. How much do you know about what's really going on in the city, though?
Not everything, not enough.
People like yourself and Riley here, and myself, people who remember, have you encountered anyone like that before?
I think Elaine's not going to have trouble looking sad at the moment, and she's going to say, or sign, one of the people I knew who remembered died on the weekend, or died. How long ago has it?
Less than 2 weeks.
Died 10 days ago.
He nods gravely. All right. Look, I'm going to come clean with you because I think you're looking into something that I'm looking into. Since this explosion at this ranger station and your return to the city, a lot of strange things have been happening. And there are people who are noticing and moving to counter. Have you ever heard the term rift?
Would Riley have? I mean, we know it's not a. It's
Well, typically in universe rifts have not heard the term. I'm mainly phrasing a response.
right. It sounds like something pseudo-scientific she might have heard in passing in the lab.
Elaine is going to sign not now context. Maybe another name.
He nods and considers for a moment. Thrith, whether Riley has heard the term during her incarceration, I will leave up to you.
I think she'll have heard herself referred to as the project instead.
Okay. He nods and says, well, it's an informal term that is used amongst a special group of people with extraordinary abilities who have noticed that they are somehow set apart from the city. People forget what they've done. People forget about the people that they possibly hurt. Or what they do is explained away. I don't get to report on such things. The stories that I've tried to write on it have never been published. My editors don't let any of this get out, and if I push too much, well, let's just say I don't want to push too hard, lest something or someone pushes back.
So he's indicating fairly strongly that he's interested in things that will reveal truth or factoids about Rift.
Yes.
But he's also indicating fairly strongly that things that reveal too much about the existence of rifts will probably be quashed by people with more power and more say than he has.
Correct.
Elaine is going to give him flagrant levels of detail regarding the presence of Veronica, and since he was asking about Chad, we'll talk about the vampire-controlled pack of wolves that devoured Chad. Because if we give him enough, he won't be able to publish it. He won't be able to publish a little without knowing that he is personally lying, and he won't be able to publish enough to assuage himself without his superiors saying you don't get to publish.
That's cruel. I like it.
Hi.
So as Elaine is talking rapid fire, he's like scrambles to get out a notepad and pen and starts getting everything he can down. Of course he misses stuff. He attempts to ask questions. Does Elaine answer his questions on the detail?
Oh yeah, no, he gets extravagant detail. He gets to hear all about Colbert. He gets to hear how Colbert was Elaine's friend and and someone in the same situation Elaine thought of as a colleague before he got kind of smushed, kind of humped.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your friend.
But we'll do our best to keep details off us specifically. There should be enough other details to keep the story buried.
Oh, yeah. He says, well, look, thank you for being so forthcoming. I can't publish this. I can't publish any of it. I mean, look, I've kind of taken it upon myself to visit all of the others, rifts or whatever you want to call us, to, let them know about how things work in the city. If you ever need any information or want to learn about the network or anything like that, he gets up, takes out a card. It has his name of it. It's shaped in the shape of a blue capsule. As he pops it down on the table.
A shape of a what?
A blue capsule, like a pill.
Oh, do you want the red pill or the blue pill? Yeah, okay.
He says, if you need any information, if you need to learn about the network, give me a call. Thank you for talking to me.
Not a problem. Networking, making new contacts is always helpful.
And look, there are things out there that will push back if you push too hard, if you make it too hard for the city to adjust. It's better to stay on the down low.
Thank you for the advice, but I think my girls and I do down low quite well. The irony and the mad cackling, oh my god.
He nods, like, glances sideways at the two younger girls and just rolls his eyes a little bit as he walks out of the place.
And Random probably can't follow the signing that well and would have no clue what it means anyway.
June is going to run to the counter, get the bill for the whole table, and run it out to him.
Oh dear.
Well, he did leave without paying for his ice cream, so turnabout, fair play, all that.
He looks quite sour as he goes back in to pay the bill.
Oh dear.
Alright. Well, with all of that happening, I feel like we should probably, Elaine, June, and Random go home. We'll probably give you another downtime because, you might want to do some research or something.
I actually have an idea of what I want to do for that, so yeah.
I should probably do something with Laurie at this point, or we could do the research, then geek out during the credits, and I could write a short thing to start with next time that has Laurie involved in it.
That sounds like a good idea.
I think either of those are quite good. I've had a cackling, rip-roaring that you may have heard me of.
Yes,
Is
this
what
is
I'm
good.
trying to say.
This is good. All right, let's do a montage. Before Laurie will arrive to work out, well, basically to begin the investigation proper into, well, it depends what you want to investigate, but the disappearance of Sharon Grant is an option.
That is at least Random's intention. Is she has an address. I'm
She
assuming.
does, yes.
So she's
Well, yes, the parents are still around.
Yeah.
And quite keen on finding their baby.
So she is going to. It's a abandoned child's room that doesn't have anybody in it all the time and has probably been left in state. That is pretty prime location to put a door. So she's probably going to go through the garden to try to get into the house through a door and try to do the bloodhound thing.
Alrighty, so which are you picking for the downtime? Because that sounds like an investigation.
It's work the case where you get 3 clues.
Oh, cool.
And let's see. Oh, and let's see, because I have to push the button before I can talk to you. First clue is I want to spend on a lead that I have some idea of the direction she went. That will lead me maybe not to her, but to something that'll give us direction.
Alright. Searching through her desks, one of the first things, Random probably doesn't recognize the significance immediately, but she doesn't have a waste paper basket near her desk. It doesn't take long for Random to find that her waste paper basket, quote unquote, is actually the large lower drawer in her desk, which is full of practice papers, all of which appear to have been professionally marked by a tutor.
Oh, cool. So there's she's been going to see a tutor.
Indeed.
Okay, she's going to
Go on. You'll probably recall that Laurie characterized her as an excellent student, and from the number of ticks and very little corrections on her papers, even a lot of it is chemistry, which random's not too up on, and pretty advanced looking chemistry too.
So the contents of the pages are pretty much total mystery, but it smells like a different person has been holding it besides the girl that was in this room.
Absolutely.
Okay. She'll collect some of those papers. Um, is there a scent trail to follow leading out of the window, since that's the way she went? Is there a way I can find something? I mean, it's been 2 weeks, so probably not. Um, but is there a way I can lead to something of the site where she vanished? Like got picked up by a car or something? No is fine. That gives me information by itself. I don't expect to find anything.
Let's see. No, you don't find anything.
Okay. I I am going to hold the last clue then. Okay.
Cool. What is Elaine doing with the downtime?
That, I think, is a good question. I think it could be worth getting in contact with this network of other rifts. I mean, it reflects a lot of sources of useful information. And Colbert, who was probably not a friend but could at least relate to her as another rift, is not around anymore. I'm not sure if that counts as working the case or giving attention to Lady Adventurer or preparing for the next activity. How would you like to read that?
I think it's more likely prepare for the next activity because you can get 3 juice with that, which you can throw in as positive statuses to your research.
That feels right. That you have 3 juice to use in the next session based on the idea that you
Got in touch with the network.
and got some ideas, you got some discussion, and you have ideas on how to do something.
Getting in contact with Dale again. He sends you a link to a message board, heavily encrypted, like really heavily encrypted. Whoever is running this board is very good with. And skimming over all of the chat topics, a lot of them are talking about strange things going on, like the appearance of what they seem to collectively term as spooks or goblins, other things. There's one of them even reports the sighting of a werewolf. None of them seem to be indicating that anything violent has happened yet, but these cases seem to be on the rise.
Huh. Interesting.
You then get to one particular post, which is made by Dale himself, which is relating the tale that you told this afternoon, and has an open question, in fact, an open bounty on who if anyone sees Veronica, if anyone can find Veronica, if anyone knows who Veronica might be or where she came from or where she's gone, please get in contact. Let the network know. This is a big priority at the moment.
Oh, Dale's done a mistake.
Oh.
Well, he obviously thinks that knowing other rifts puts him at the higher information side of this relationship, but Elaine is at least aware that if she doesn't maintain human contact, she can wind up an avatar. And knows and recognizes Veronica as having done that.
Mm-hmm.
Dale has concluded that since he knows other rifts, he obviously knows better what he's doing, and he's just put information about an avatar out on a public board.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna find him empty.
Yeah. He is not a protagonist reporter. What does Lori do with the downtime? Oh, we get to hear about that at the beginning of the next session, don't we?
Yeah, we do. A few things may happen to Laurie. I'll have to work out what he's been doing before he comes and sees you. I think I'm not actually going to use recover from your last activity to reduce bad because
Laurie might not even realize that's happened.
no, not yet. Also, I kind of want school counselor to crack sooner rather than spoilers for geeking out during the credits. Cough, cough.
Yeah, we're almost there anyway.
Yeah. Tempted to explore his mythos more. In fact, I think that's what I'll do. That would put Undead Taint to a full theme book. So I think I will do that and gain a second clue.
Okay.
He's probably gone to try and find out who Veronica is himself, not knowing about the network. So what do we think? Should I take question C for Bastian with the answer effortless beauty? I don't think I'll do that actually. I think question G, feral physicality, is the better one for the moment.
Yeah, that sounds good. Especially after the kind of frenzied activity you've been showing this session in the last case.
Oh yes. There's also the effortless beauty thing is hypnotic beauty is possibly going to be a subversion theme book when another of the Logos cracks.
Right.
And I haven't experienced a transformation or anything like that yet that would say that, Laurie has changed even slightly. Yes, I figured feral physicality would cover things like claws, fangs, enhanced strength, speed, such.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, don't forget, when the fangs and claws are just coming in, you might, be awkward enough with them that it balances out any advantage they might give.
Oh, yes. And I figure that giving myself claws and fangs would be a change to the game.
Oh, that too, but also just you could have them if it makes sense and not have any tags associated with them if you're still getting used to stuff.
Yep.
Do not forget that is a thing the system allows for.
Oh, yes. Which will bring us to geek out during the credits, and I have pressed the button.
Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. Sorry.
How has the crew grown this session? I think.
Go on.
Oh, I think we. Oh, have we unburned keep on ticking since it was used?
Yes.
I believe we did that at the end of the last one.
Well, I think we've grown. I mean, Elaine is now Random's guardian.
Yep. And
Friends have been made.
yep. We've kind of sort of settled into a routine that we've flashed forward into.
We've definitely settled into a routine that we appear to have formed a small posse at school.
Indeed. I think we can mark attention on that, and I'm going to suggest that the next time it breaks, we might want to switch out natural nemesis for some other trouble.
This is a good plan.
I mean, by the time that happens, we will probably have evolved beyond it.
Yes. Which means we should probably use it soon.
Yep.
Which would be good because Laurie will certainly be still a natural nemesis
Indeed. Yeah.
at the very least.
Yep. Definitely still it would be that. Okay.
So next, which character had the most meaningful interaction with your character this session?
I want to say that it was a hurt against Riley with the whole ice cream in the mouth when you're trying to talk thing, but it was definitely a hurt on Laurie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is true. Do you put that down? You put that down, don't you?
I think that goes both ways, doesn't it?
No. You note on your character sheet the hurt you have for somebody else. They note on their character sheet the hurt they have for you.
Because you spend it for a minus on someone else.
All right, so you would be marking hurt against me, not against you.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
I'm also going to mark a hurt just for the idea of that you've been trying to contain Riley's less structured personality for a while.
I'm going to mark a help on Riley for standing up to all the people that were being shit to me.
We're only allowed to mark one person.
Yeah, I'm not marking Laurie. Laurie's marking against me.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
Which of your themes is under the most strain? If it collapses, what new aspect will show up in its place? I'm gonna not go out on a limb at all and say school counselor. Yeah. Even more so than where the final girl was at the end of the last session. And the flip, when it cracks, it will become a subversion theme book of hypnotic beauty.
Okay. I'm going to say with random that it's nameless and forgotten. Because she's growing less so. I was tempted to add another crack to it here, but nothing really challenged her identity that isn't her name. So didn't feel like anything that was worth cracking over. But I think it's still Nameless and Forgotten because I think that's the one that's going to be under strain the most, with people calling her Riley left, right, and center.
Indeed.
I think it's going to be the briefcase, and I still think it's going to crack into a reliance on mundane stuff in a gearbook. And I'm going to mark some fade on that because we went through the whole session without using it.
Again.
Again. What do you mean again?
Last session, the one that we took the break.
Oh, this is the last video. We're still sort of the same session, but yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, my brain.
We didn't geek out during the credits twice either.
True.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Since the last time we geeked out in the credits, I haven't used it.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
The first fade was because it betrayed me and the puppet I was trying to pull out tried to eat me.
Yes. Yes.
And the second fade is because I just haven't had cause or opportunity to use it.
I'm still using Nameless and Forgotten, so it didn't feel like worthy to crack.
Indeed.
I will tell you that Nameless and Forgotten will crack into the Monster Covered in Blood,
Awesome.
which is going to be an expression thing.
Question. If the thing that cracks is your one with the extra power and extra weakness tags, do you still have an extra power and extra weakness tag on one of your themes? Do you have to assign a new set to one of your themes?
Nope, but you get bonus build-up.
Are you allowed to assign an extra weakness and extra power?
No.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean? An extra weakness and extra power at the same time, or?
Well, you know how in character generation,
Yes.
you assign one extra weakness and one extra power to one of your theme books.
Correct.
When that one breaks, do you retain the one extra power and one extra weakness and put them somewhere else?
No, they count towards build up when it cracks or fades.
Right, so they're gone, but you have to designate something else as the new broad tag.
Yes. Yeah, the broad tag remains. And if you get a second broad tag, it also transfers.
I'm just going to put square brackets around my broad tag so I can remember which one it is.
I just am operating without one right now. I will get one.
Yeah, but your playstyle is noticeably different from mine.
Yeah.
I changed the game a lot, you may be able to tell.
Yes, and so yes, I hope everyone had fun.
Oh, definitely, yes.
I mean, I probably woke up the neighbors, but that's alright, we don't like them.
Of course.
There is some shadowy entity in the garden I don't know about.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, that's going to be delightful. I'm intimating that I know things that I don't. Shh.
Got it.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Laurie's not doing too well. Hopefully we'll get a bit more into Laurie's problems next time.
Yep, and Random has successfully not caused someone to need brown pants at school so far. So.
Well, not yet. I'm sure that's coming. All right. Well, thank you very much. We should probably cut this one's. This one's only slightly shorter than the last one.
Yeah, but it'll probably not be that much shorter when I edit it, because there's not that much in the way of, well, I say there's not that much in the way of white space, and then I'll go and look and it'll be like 6 minutes or 7 minutes of white space or something.
Indeed. Well, I'm really looking forward to next week. Thank you both very much.
Yep, it's always fun.
Okay, catch you later. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
The last thing I want to do is a bit of a delay action spending my mythos clue. Since it comes from the whole puppet body thing, I would like to open a finger or something and have a couple of insect sized puppets come out and, get into his clothes. Just so that I can learn where he's going after this stakeout. Or better yet, keep them on him so I know that he's where he is when he's outside watching my house. Is that doable, or is that too much like placing a status?
It's a bit like placing a status, but I'm going to allow it. Usually that sort of clue is used to investigate one of your mysteries, but your mysteries are all very personal, and this goes towards that, because this guy might know something, or you could find more out through him.
It also seems, I don't know, sometimes fair to allow for juice out of Explore Your Mythos instead of clue.
I was going to say, what I'm doing is something you would be more likely to do with juice than anything.
It's definitely not a regular use of clue, but I'm going to allow it because Rule 0 and I like it.
Cool.
Concur from
Okay.
the third player in the party.
June looks like she's attempting to laugh.
Oh no. Will that break her heart?
June's just going to, write down an email address or something, because we don't want Lucy to go home crying.
Indeed.
But,
Okay.
phones don't super work.
This is true. So
Yeah.
yes, email addresses are traded.
It's like in every campaign, you find some way to socially traumatize somebody.
Only party members and closely tied NPCs. Only my friends.
Oh, I have a cat.
Yes, her name is Anne.
Well, yes. I also have a cat named Cat now. You gonna say something?
Oh no, she won't
no.
meow when you wanted to.
Oh, of course not. Maybe I'll get her purring.
June is going to look thoughtful and then sign back, "Some boys were picking on Lucy."
Right.
I may be a slightly obstructionist troll, but that's okay.
There is actually a hard move here that we ask. If we ask a question, we have to give a straight answer, and he figures it out even if we don't say it in those words.
Oh yeah, but presumably the MC has to announce that move's being made, and we're not just making conversation.
Correct.
Oh, right. Sorry about that.
It's
Okay.
okay.